What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Guys, we back with some Americans living abroad. Hey, from TikTok Neil, we got, why did you choose to leave America? I think this is a new question. I haven't done this one before, so this is gonna be interesting to see why people chose to leave America. She looked like she got a good reason already, so we finna jump into this. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations.
I've tried to film this so many times and I keep running out of time. I'm trying to keep this as brief as humanly possible, but there are literally just so many things I could say on this topic. I digress. Here are all the reasons that I am desperate to not live in America. The one that brought me here was that I really didn't want to do grad school in America, and there are tons of reasons for that, but that's kind of what got me here. Another huge one was, the obvious healthcare. I was working as a barista, and that's not the type of job that you get healthcare through your job, but I also just didn't really want to live in a society where my ability to access healthcare was tied to a job at all. That honestly freaked me out. It was an anxiety I felt frequently and with me during the day.
That's why I feel like that shouldn't be even if you didn't have a job, because not everybody works. It's like getting a job shouldn't just mean that that's the only way you can get healthcare. That sucks.
And when I was not ill, so I was honestly truly desperate to move somewhere where there was socialized healthcare. That was big top of the list reason. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this word on TikTok, but I was scared. I know it's a political topic. I disagree with, and it really freaked me out that anyone could just have access to them. I was living in New York, and I'm from San Francisco, so my exposure to them was pretty minimal. But just the fact that anyone could have them, that someone could come to my school and use one, or my place of work. I worked kind of in a touristy area, literally. It was scary. I know that some people don't deal with that anxiety, but it was an anxiety again that I felt frequently living in America, the fear of something happening to me in that way. And then ironically, probably being in debt from the medical bills because of that. It was just, I didn't like it. I never want to feel that way again. I feel like I'm running out of time, so I'm trying to go fast. Also, the infrastructure is just not as good. Even in New York, I feel like the subway is just falling apart. And I love New York, don't get me wrong, but infrastructure.
I visited New York before, and first time, so you looking at the subway, it's oh dang, it really does look like the movies, But now that you mentioned, I was like, dang, it is. It wasn't in tip-top shape, you know what I'm saying? It could have been in better shape than it was.
Even the smallest European city is fucking better than in most places in America. It's so built for cars. I don't like cars. I wanted a place where the trains and there was just care for that. I also admittedly, I do feel the stereotype that Americans are kind of in their own bubble, and that there's not as much knowledge about wider world affairs, or if there is, it's through the lens of how it affects you as an American and your perspective on it, and that's the perspective to have because it's coming through the American lens. I think that's a fair stereotype, and I wanted to break out of that. I think I was absolutely guilty of it when I lived there, and I wanted to expand my own worldview and just how I view things. I think there's a whole world out there, and it's important, if you're able to do that. I really thought I was going to be able to get through my whole list in this time period, and I clearly wasn't. If anybody wants a part 2, I can get through the rest of the list, or I can expand on any of the things I mentioned. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Those are big ones for me. It's not for me.
One of the big reasons why I decided to move abroad with my husband was because of noise tolerance. I know it sounds really wacky, but let me explain. So both my husband and I are musicians. I play piano and I sing opera, and he's also a singer, and he also plays a bunch of instruments, including the trombone, which is a really, really, really loud brass instrument. In America, people don't really have tolerance for noise, especially
if you live in apartments. I'm sure she was going to say that, but oh my God, I could give y'all a story on that. We lived in an apartment, and at the time my son was two years old, and we stayed on the second floor. Oh my, probably the worst thing ever, because his little feet running everywhere, it was always a complaint. In
America, people don't really have tolerance for noise, especially in nice neighborhoods. If someone thinks you're being too loud, they'll call the cops, they'll call management, and it's just a pain in the butt trying to practice. It's also really annoying having to drive to school to practice whenever I feel like practicing.
Practice at
Which
home.
is why we had such a great experience while we were living abroad. We were really able to practice at all times of the day and night, and no one would say anything. I think it also has a lot to do with how houses are built in the US. Usually we use wood, and we do this so that we could construct again, rebuild, and you could hear everything through these walls.
That's true. That's very true.
Family members ask me a lot why I moved out of the US and to Sweden. Not friends my age, because I think they kind of get it, but family, they ask sometimes why I moved away, and there's actually a lot of reasons, but like,
that reason
you don't need that many. This should be more than enough.
Oh yeah, crazy.
Fuck off.
This is a crazy world. I still can't believe that happened. Like, that was out of nowhere. That saddest thing ever. Very sad. And it's crazy because that's one out of what, 200 and something? That's wild.
Fuck off.
So why did you leave the United States of America? Since moving to Poland, that is probably the number one question I get asked the most. And it's actually pretty simple. My grandparents, they're still living here in Poland, in Ostrołęka, which is not too far from Warsaw. I also think about all the times that I've shared with them in my childhood and how I'm just so thankful and lucky that they're still alive. My favorite memory, I think, is when my grandmother was laughing so hard that her dentures came out of her mouth, and that just made us laugh even harder until our stomachs hurt.
So you know you're having a good laugh.
Simple little moments that we've shared that just make living here worthwhile.
Okay, so she got family. That's a good thing, especially like, because I know some Americans that live abroad, you know, it's new to them. They don't really know too many people, maybe one person or so, but that's good that she actually have family down there.
And
it makes
I love
a difference.
being able to visit them, and I'm very distraught by this pandemic because I haven't been able to see them for a really long time. But that just makes me appreciate my family even more, and I can't wait to see them soon.
I've had a lot of conversations recently about leaving America.
As someone who left the United States 6 months ago and has no regrets yet looking back, I would say honestly do it. The fear of the unknown and the fear of the what if, fear of what other people might think is less scary than staying stagnant in a place that's no longer serving you. About a year ago, I was reflecting on my life and realized I wasn't too happy with the trajectory of the United States. So I realized I didn't really have anything to lose in trying something new and moving abroad. It's not as difficult as you may think it to be, and you actually don't need as much money as you think. Also, a lot of countries make it relatively easy for Americans to obtain long-term visas or even residency. All you really need to do is make a plan, do a bit of research around what part of the world you want to live in, what type of lifestyle you want to have, and then set yourself up with a budget and a way to earn income when you're abroad. What lies on the other side of this fear of the unknown, fear of the what if, is honestly a world of opportunities, a greater sense of freedom and happiness, and honestly, I'd recommend it to anyone who's considering leaving the United States.
That was pretty informative what you were saying, because I feel like that's a thing too with living abroad. Most people fear that change and just don't know what it may bring, you know. But I think most people issue maybe money, maybe language barriers and stuff like that. But just from all the videos that I've learned from and watched, like, it's not that, like, even if you haven't learned the language, you can still make it. You can still make it around. And people always tell me how helpful they will be to me and stuff like that. So that's always a good thing, that you'll have people that will help and guide you on that journey, you know?
Why the U.S. sucks and you should leave for your own happiness. I haven't lived long-term in the U.S. for about 3 or 4 years, and here's a couple reasons why. First off, fuck cars. They're stupid. You don't need them. Abroad, you can walk everywhere within 5 to 10 minutes. The transportation's better. And in the U.S., if you don't have a car, you're basically shit out of luck, because you have to have a car to go anywhere. To meet up with people, to go to the bank, you have to have a car. Abroad, it's not like that. So you end up saving money and you don't get fat because you walk everywhere. It's great. The second reason, friendships and dating has been a lot easier abroad compared to the US. Americans tend to bitch about every single thing, and we're overly sensitive about things that we shouldn't be. Americans really tend to overvalue money in the way that it brings happiness, as opposed to other cultures where they really value family, friendships, and relationships. And of course, money is important, but it's not everything. And I feel that Americans have let it get to their heads, as well as just being overly sensitive about certain topics that you shouldn't be overly sensitive, especially when you're just trying to have a conversation.
Right.
Abroad, I found that people seek more to understand as opposed to finding reasons to get offended about certain things, and just got kind of sick of it from the U.S.
Yeah, you do get sick of it because it's like, it's one of those things, let's agree to disagree. Like, people think just because you disagree with them that, oh, you just hate that or you hate them or that. It's like, it's okay if you don't agree on the same thing. Like, that shouldn't make you an enemy of mine. You know, like, that shouldn't make, it's all about how you treat people and stuff, you know. Everybody not going to have the same interests. Everybody not going to think the same. And that's okay. Like, if you don't like a hamburger and I like a hamburger, I'm not going to hate you just because you didn't like the burger I like. Like, shoot, you might like pizza. You know, I like pizza.
Finding reasons to get offended about certain things, and just got kind of sick of it from the U.S. For dating, men know how to act like men and women know how to act like women. When it comes to chemistry and good foundational relationships, it's really important that men bring masculine energy and women bring feminine energy to the relationship. And abroad, I found that women really appreciate men kind of filling their role and women being happy to fill their role. And that's not to say that men and women aren't equal. It's just we do different things and we provide different things in the relationship. In the US, everybody's trying to do everything all at once, and there's really no avenue for men to be men and women to be women. And in turn, it makes the relationships a lot weaker and a lot more convoluted than it needs to be.
I've
dated both, and I always prefer women abroad just because they're more attractive to me. Thirdly, it's a lot cheaper to live abroad than it is to live in your home country, the US. Healthcare is fucking expensive, gas is expensive, where if you don't need a car, you don't need to pay for gas. The dollar goes further everywhere else in every other country except for the US. And if you bring the dollar to another country, you're basically increasing your class status without really changing anything about it besides your physical location. In America, I'm middle class. In South America, I'm upper class. All I did was change locations and my life got better. I have the same job, I earn the same, nothing about it is different. So if you can just physically move yourself to another country and live out of there, your life gets better because you have more to work with because you earn more, technically. So if you work online and your physical location doesn't matter, living elsewhere is just going to save you more money as well as increasing your class status and your lifestyle, which is great.
That makes a lot of sense.
This is America, Lois. Men have always run things, and there have never been any problems whatsoever. And don't say the economy or Iraq or income inequality or racism or Brett Kavanaugh or air pollution or Vietnam or slavery or Watergate or capitalism or Me Too or...
All that is a problem. Not Tim Allen.
Or Brett Kavanaugh or air pollution or Vietnam or slavery or Watergate or capitalism or Me Too or homelessness or police brutality or homophobia or Monica Lewinsky or school shootings or Native American genocide or Fox News or Tim Allen or climate change.
Well, then why did you do all this? Because you fucking shot me, Daniel.
Hey, what's up, America? Want to hear something funny? Rent prices have increased in the United States so much that 5 million people have now left here to go to Mexico because rent prices are tolerable down there. So people in the United States are actively fleeing the United States to go down to Mexico for cheap rent, risk some very hard criminal activity just to get by.
That's crazy.
So what would you do? Would you be involved in going to Mexico to escape high rent and gas prices? Typically, I would say no, but I don't know. It's looking a little more attractive nowadays, don't you think?
Very.
I haven't done a story time in a while, but it's bank holiday and I'm feeling generous, so let's start from the top. In 2019, I had come to a place where I was working for my company in a specific region for almost 8 years. And I was really looking for what is my next chapter and what is my next move. I got the absolutely incredible opportunity to move to the UK, specifically London, with my job on a global mobility contract to go from managing the Caribbean in cosmetics and beauty and whatnot to managing the UK and Ireland, Republic of Ireland. Sad to say, I landed October 2019, and we all know what happened in March 2020. So after many transformations of the company and whatnot, I kind of realized it was actually my time to leave the company as a whole, and had already decided that I was going to look outside of the company the following October. But Farfetch, the company I'm with now, reached out to me on LinkedIn, and all during this time, I met my now partner. Now I am officially settling as a Londoner.
That's nice. That's nice.
Hey y'all, I'm Mademoiselle and I'm a black expat in Jamaica. So I moved to Jamaica like in the summer of 2020, kind of during the height of the pandemic. Basically, as soon as Jamaica opened their borders back up, I
on hit and laugh.
I hit that plane track. All right, so yeah, so basically I've been living here for almost 2 years now. I feel like it's one of the best decisions I have ever made. I have my process somewhat documented on my YouTube channel, and I have started an expat community here of Black people who are looking to move to Jamaica or return to Jamaica. It's been a phenomenal experience, and I encourage anybody who has the opportunity or the privilege to go and live somewhere else, please do it. Okay, even if it's just for a short period of time. Again, it'll just open your whole world up, and it'll change your life. Okay, so why I decided on Jamaica? Well, it's Jamaica. All right, I got the food, I got my peoples, them. All right, I got the culture.
That's nice. I definitely want to visit Jamaica one time. Not even just one time. I just want to visit it. Definitely want to visit it often.
The food, I got my peoples, them. All right, I got the culture. It's sunny the majority of the time. Beautiful weather, beautiful place. It's everything to me. Okay. And moving abroad or moving to a different country, no, it's not for everybody. But if you're somebody who's like myself and who needed to get out of America, okay, for whatever reason that may be, and Africa is too far out of reach for you, I think the Caribbean is somewhere to consider. Okay. Yes, there's a whole lot of flack about Jamaica. Yes, you're going to have negative press and views about anywhere that you go.
That's a fact.
But I heavily advise that you come and experience places for yourself and not rely on
social media,
Western media, and all them things to explain to you what's going on in these other places. Y'all see how they control the narrative about us? Don't let them control the narrative about other places. If you would like to experience living somewhere else, if you are thinking about moving to Jamaica, I have Black expats and repats in Jamaica on Facebook. I have consultation services, and I'm also Mocha on all social media platforms. All right. So if it's something you're thinking about, feel free to reach out. All right. I have a wonderful team who's here to help, and I love Jamaica. All right. Jamaica not get rid of me. You see me? All right. So let me know what you think. Are you thinking about moving abroad? What's up? Tell me what's going on.
That's nice. I feel like everybody had pretty valid reasons. And one of the guys made a good point. Like, everything's going so much. It's getting so expensive here in the States. People can't afford it. And the money they make is crazy because the money they make here in America is not enough for America. But it will be enough and affordable, maybe even more, just living somewhere else, So definitely feel like they made some valid decisions, valid point on why they chose to leave. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I didn't know it was this many people like leaving America. Like, since I've been doing these videos, I started seeing more and more and more and more and more people that are leaving, and they seem more happier. That's a good thing. Seem more happier, seem more safe. So, but I enjoy these. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments below. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations, and y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.